Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate heads towards digital blockchain technology through establishment of a company that handles banking transactions and commercial exchange systems. The project of pisciculture through using floating cages is launched in the Wilaya of Qurayat. And for the first time since the decline in the global oil prices, Oman oil price exceeds $60 per barrel. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of condolences to His Excellency Mohammed Abdul Hamid, President of Bangladesh, on the death of former President Abdul Rahman Bishwash. The Sultanate is heading towards digital blockchain technology through the establishment of a company to be operated very soon. This came during the blockchain symposium organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in cooperation with a number of public bodies. The blockchain is a pioneering technology that will change all banking, commercial exchange, asset trading records, and data systems. The technology is based on decentralization in data flow with a safe platform. Its applications vary to include social case services, health and educational records, government documents, voting, and other services. The symposium saw the participation of a number of international and local experts who stressed that the Sultanate's environment for utilizing this technology is convenient and promising. The project of pisciculture through using floating cages was launched today in the Wilaya of Qurayat in the Governorate of Muscat. The project aims to increase productivity of fisheries wealth and strengthen food security in the Sultanate. It consists of 32 floating cages. Diameter of each is 40 meters and will be used to produce copper fish. The Ministry of Agriculture stated that it will increase the number of cages up to 90 in the coming years, and production capacity will reach 9,000 tons of fish. The project in its first phase will produce 3,000 tons through establishing a factory for canning and packaging fish for exportation. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Fuad bin Ja'far al-Sajwani, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth. For the first time since the decline in the global oil prices, Oman oil price exceeds $60 per barrel. The Dubai Mercantile Exchange said that Oman oil price January 2018 delivery reached $60.63 per barrel. The average price of Oman oil November delivery reached $54.02 per barrel, thus $3.63 higher than the price of October delivery. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdullah Al-Hinai, Advisor of the State, presided over the graduation of the 28th batch of students of colleges of Sultan Qaboos University. The number of graduates was 1,818 in various majors. The students expressed their happiness and pride for graduation after the hard work and efforts they exerted during the years of study, and stressed that they are ready for the next stage of their lives, which is to head towards the labor market, get a job, and serve their country. The Royal Oman Police ROB celebrated the opening of a special task force unit in the Wilaya of Duqm in the Governorate of Al-Wusta and graduation of recruits. The ceremony was held under the auspices of His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, in the presence of Lieutenant General Hassan bin Muhsin al-Shriqi, Inspector General of Police and Customs. After the graduate dismissed the parade ground, the Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, accompanied by the Inspector General for Police and Customs, unveiled the commemorative plaque declaring the official inauguration of the new unit. Then they toured the various facilities of the unit. The graduation ceremony was attended by Their Highnesses, ministers, advisors, members of the state and Shura councils, ROP senior officers, the Sultan's armed forces, and other security departments and citizens. Still to come in our news bulletin. Al-Rawda Castle in the Wilaya of Mudaybi is considered a historical landmark and proof of the creativity of the Omani people in architecture and construction. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Saudi Arabia's King Salman met with Lebanon's outgoing Prime Minister today after Saad Hariri abruptly resigned during the trip to the kingdom. Hariri's resignation, made in a televised statement from Saudi Arabia yesterday, has stunned Lebanon and plunged the tiny nation into uncertainty. In his resignation, Hariri accused Lebanese Hezbollah group of holding Lebanon hostage. The resignation threw Lebanon's fragile government into disarray. President Michel Aoun, who must accept the resignation for it to be valid, said today that he would await Hariri's return to consider the matter. It's uncertain when Hariri will return to Lebanon. The 47-year-old Hariri was appointed prime minister in late 2016 and headed a 30-member coalition government that included Hezbollah. Aoun, who was elected president in October 2016 after more than a 2-year presidential vacuum, is a close ally of Hezbollah. Former U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said today that the Iran nuclear agreement was working and that the decision by U.S. President Donald Trump to decertify the agreement was made without any facts whatsoever and just pulled out of the sky. A key member of the negotiation team at the time, Kerry told an audience at Chatham House in London that the decision to focus entirely on the nuclear issue and not problems such as Iran's missile program and interference in the region was deliberate and strategic. He said they just recognized that it did not make sense strategically to try to arrive at an agreement on nuclear weapons where you might be bargaining off something to do with nuclear in exchange for missiles or other behavior in the region. He added that Trump's decision to decertify the deal was made based on no science, no fact, not any evidence whatsoever. Hundreds of migrants sang, danced and cheered as they reached a port in southern Italy on an NGO rescue ship this morning. A ship operated by Spanish NGO Proactiva Open Arms docked in Crotone, Calabria, carrying 401 passengers, including 73 women and 48 minors. 339 of the migrants were rescued off the coast of Tripoli, Libya, by the organization over the last few days, while the remaining migrants were transferred into the vessel from other boats. The organization said migrants who are generally in good condition of health but showed signs of exhaustion after traveling for prolonged periods. A downpour hitting Crotone caused delays in the disembarking operations coordinated by the local authorities. The migrants will be transferred to reception centers located across Italy. Fiji's Prime Minister has told climate negotiators that tackling climate change was now urgent as diplomats opened talks on implementing the Paris Agreement. Prime Minister Vork Frank Baini Marmara, who is chairing the 2-week meeting in the German city of Bonn, offered greetings from one of the most climate vulnerable regions on Earth as he addressed the conference on Monday. The Pacific Island nation is already suffering the impacts of global warming. Diplomats and activists have gathered in Germany for 2 weeks of talks on implementing the Paris Agreement to fight climate change. Environmental groups staged protests in Bonn and at a nearby coal mine ahead of the meeting to highlight Germany's continued use of heavily polluting fossil fuels. Some 300 children joined in the cause, marching at a Kids for Earth demonstration organized by Greenpeace. U.S. President Donald Trump today supported Japan's pledge to shoot down North Korean missiles if necessary at a joint conference with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Tokyo. Trump is visiting Japan as a part of a five-nation tour of Asia aimed at quashing North Korea's nuclear program. Abe, who has taken a more hawkish view on North Korea than some of his predecessors, said Japan would coordinate closely with the United States even on shooting down missiles. He also announced new sanctions against several dozen North Korea individuals. Earlier today, the two men also put a face on the threat posed by the North, standing with anguished families of Japanese citizens snatched by Pyongyang's agents. Reviewing aspects of bilateral relations between the Sultanate and Armenia and ways of strengthening them in various fields top discussions at the meeting between His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Mohammed bin Awad al-Hassan, Acting Under-Secretary of the Foreign Minister for Diplomatic Affairs, with His Excellency Armin Babikian, Deputy Foreign Minister of Armenia. The two sides exchanged viewpoints on a number of regional and international issues of mutual concern, which contribute in supporting efforts aiming at achieving international peace and security. The 12th cultural competition of the Ministry of Defense, Sultan's Armed Forces and the Royal Guard of Oman was concluded. The competition included a number of categories, namely Holy Quran memorization, poetry, scientific research, Arabic calligraphy, drawing, short story, and play scripts. The competition also witnessed the participation from a number of skilled photographers and graphic designers. Through such events, the participants will be able to increase their knowledge and skills in various fields. At the end of the conclusion ceremony, those winning the first places were honored by the chief guest. The third Renewable Energy Conference was launched in Muscat under the title Energy Solutions. It discussed through its work papers the solutions and ways of finding new energy sources. It is worth mentioning that the Sultanate adopted an economic project that will work with solar and wind energies. During the conference, a German initiative on energy solutions and its uses were also reviewed. The status of economic, human rights and intellectual property rights were topics discussed at the second Oman Law Conference. The conference also deals with common financial mistakes made by entrepreneurs and provides financial advice for entrepreneurs and sustainability. More than 50 specialists are taking part in the event, which also discusses rights and commitments with regard to transparency and disclosure of commercial, financial, administrative information and data. The conference coincides with the celebration of the 21st anniversary of the issue of the state's basic status. Raising the effectiveness of medical emergency response and disasters was one of the most important aims of the first workshop for the National Medical Emergency Team. The event was organized by the Ministry of Health in cooperation with the Emergency Cases Management Center. It came to acquaint the members of the National Medical Emergency Team with the National Plan for Emergency and Crisis Management. The team consists of administrative, medical, and technical cadres. They will be trained to deal with emergency cases and have high level of readiness to direct responses to emergency cases. Al-Rawda Castle in the Niyaba of Samar al-Shan in the Wilaya of Mudaybi is considered a historical and cultural landmark, as well as a proof of the creativity of the Omani people in architecture and construction. The castle, which was renovated lately by the Ministry of Heritage and Culture, is considered a touristic destination besides its educational and cultural role. It is located on a mountain and it's surrounded by palm trees. It was built in the era of Imam Sultan bin Saif al-Ya'rubi. The castle's area is about 336 and it contains 3 floors, which include a majlis or gathering area for the guests, a store and 2 watchtowers, in addition to other historical items that will acquaint the visitors to the heritage and deep-rooted past of the castle. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the governorates of Wusta and Dhofar. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate, while seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate heads towards digital blockchain technology through establishment of a company that handles banking transactions and commercial exchange systems. The project of pisciculture through using floating cages is launched in the wilaya of Prayat. And for the first time since the decline in the global oil prices, Oman oil price exceeds $60 per barrel. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.